In the heart of Africa's lush rainforest, where towering trees sway to the rhythm of the wind and the calls of wild animals echo through the air, a unique bond was forged, one that would challenge the boundaries of human and animal connection. This is the story of a man named David, a wildlife conservationist, and a gorilla named Kumba. 2 years ago, their paths crossed under extraordinary circumstances, and what followed was nothing short of life-changing. But when David made the decision to reunite with Kumba after years of separation, he ignored every warning, both from experts and nature itself. What drove him to take this risk? And what happened when man and beast met again? Stay tuned, as we unravel this powerful story of courage, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between species. It all began 2 years ago. David had been working with a team of researchers deep in the Congo rainforest, studying the behavior of endangered mountain gorillas. During one of their routine expeditions, they stumbled upon a heart-wrenching sight: a young male gorilla, barely 2 years old, trapped in a poacher's snare. The snare had cut deep into the gorilla's leg, leaving it weak and immobile. The poachers were nowhere in sight, but their cruelty lingered in the air. The team knew that if they didn't act quickly, the gorilla would die from infection or starvation. David took charge, carefully freeing the injured animal. It was no easy task. The young gorilla, terrified and in pain, resisted every attempt to help. But David's patience and gentle demeanor eventually calmed him down. He named the gorilla Kumba. For weeks, David nursed Kumba back to health at a nearby rehabilitation center. The bond they formed during this time was remarkable. Kumba, once wary of humans, began to trust David completely. But as Kumba grew stronger, David knew that his ultimate goal was to return him to the wild. It was the hardest goodbye David had ever faced, but he knew it was the right thing to do. Kumba was released back into the rainforest, free to live the life he was meant to. Fast forward 2 years. David had returned to his home country, but not a day went by when he didn't think of Kumba. He often wondered, did Kumba adapt to the wild? Was he safe? One day, David received news from a colleague in the Congo. Kumba had been spotted near the area where he was released. It was rare for a rehabilitated gorilla to remain so close to human-inhabited zones. Some believed Kumba was searching for something, or someone. David's heart raced at the thought of seeing Kumba again. But the experts warned him. Gorillas, especially males, become unpredictable and territorial as they mature. Kumba might not remember you the way you remember him. Approaching him could be dangerous, for both of you. But David couldn't shake the feeling that he owed it to Kumba to see him again. Against all advice, he packed his bags and set off for the rainforest. The journey to Kumba's habitat was grueling. Thick vegetation, unpredictable weather, and the ever-present danger of wild animals made every step a challenge. David was accompanied by a local guide who, despite his experience, expressed grave concerns about the reunion. "Wild animals don't think like we do," the guide warned. "Even if the gorilla recognizes you, he might see you as a threat to his territory." But David's determination never wavered. Every memory of Kumba, the way he used to cling to David for comfort, the playful glint in his eyes, kept him going. Finally, after days of searching, they found him. Kumba. He was no longer the vulnerable young gorilla David had rescued. He was now a towering, muscular adolescent, his once injured leg fully healed. He sat amidst a clearing, surrounded by dense trees, chewing on bamboo shoots. David's heart pounded as he stepped closer, calling out softly, "Kumba, it's me." At first, Kumba didn't react. But then, his gaze shifted, locking onto David. There was a tense silence. The guide signaled for David to step back, fearing aggression. But David held his ground. Slowly, he crouched, lowering himself to appear non-threatening. What happened next was something no one could have predicted. Kumba let out a soft grunt, a sound of recognition. He approached David cautiously, his massive frame towering over him. For a moment, the world seemed to stand still. Then, Kumba did something extraordinary. He reached out, gently touching David's shoulder, just as he used to when he sought comfort as a young gorilla. It was as if time had melted away, and the bond they once shared was reignited. David spent hours with Kumba that day, observing him, marveling at how far he'd come. But he knew this reunion was temporary. Kumba belonged to the wild, and David couldn't disrupt the delicate balance of his new life. When it was time to leave, David felt a bittersweet ache in his heart. As he walked away, Kumba watched him, letting out a low, mournful sound, a goodbye. Back home, David reflected on the experience. He knew the risks he had taken were great, but the reward was even greater. He had witnessed firsthand the enduring power of trust and connection, proof that even across species, bonds can transcend time and space. David's story reminds us of the extraordinary relationships we can form with the natural world if only we take the time to nurture and respect it. Kumba's survival is a testament to the impact of compassion and determination. And though their paths may never cross again, the bond between David and Kumba will remain a powerful symbol of hope, for us, for wildlife, and for the future of our planet. Thank you for listening to this incredible story. If it moved you as much as it moved us, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing tales from the wild.